Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to give you 7 cheap spring designer fragrances that I think you should know about. So let's jump into it. All right, so today we are talking cheap fragrances. We are talking cheap spring fragrances from designer houses. Spring is almost here. I cannot wait. Being a Canadian, I'm so sick of winter. It is always so cold. I'm sick of snow. I can't wait for the spring. So I've been digging around my collection. I've been looking at my spring fragrances, just kind of whispering to them that I'll see them soon. And I got 7 cheapies from designer houses. All these are gonna be available for under $30 and as low as like $7.50, $8, something like that. Got some great fragrances for you. Links are gonna be down in the description if you decide you wanna check any of these out, along with some coupon codes to save yourself $5 off of various discounts. So let's go screwing around. Let's get into it. All right, so first up on the list, we got one from Perry Ellis, and it's Perry Ellis Night. Now you can scoop this bad boy up for about $19, or you can find this at rack stores. I see this at rack stores quite a bit now. I picked this up from a rack store for about $20 Canadian, which I think works out to like $3 US or something like that. Something in that neighborhood. Really good find, can get it at rack stores. And this is a very interesting style of citrus fragrance. It's got blood orange, pomelo, yuzu that's mixed in there. Very sweet, sour, tart, kind of deep, dark sort of citrus vibe from that blood orange. Really nice, kind of fresh, clean, invigorating, but like I said, it has like a bit of a kind of a mysterious vibe, a little bit of depth and darkness from that blood orange that comes through. Kind of fits with the whole vibe of a night fragrance, even though this is still a citrus fragrance. Very fresh, very invigorating, can be worn during the day, but it has kind of a nighttime, spring, warm evening sort of vibe going on to it that I really, really enjoy. As this kind of works its way through, you get a little bit of spice coming through, you get some geranium, some wood notes, and you get this nice amber that kind of warms things up as you get down to the base, working into that dry down. So a nice combination of some like dry woods, a little bit of spice, a touch of aromatics from that geranium coming through, and you still get those citruses that kind of play in the background, giving it that darkness, a little bit of depth, but also kind of that fresh, citrusy sort of vibe going on to it. Very unique style of fragrance. It's not like a mind-blowing niche style of fragrance, but it is a very interesting twist with that yuzu, that blood orange, and that pomelo worked into those woody notes. Awesome, awesome fragrance. Performance on this about 5-6 hours off my skin, so it's not a monster performer, but it'll get the job done. Good for an evening out, and it'll get you through a work day. Nice casual fragrance. You can wear this to the office as well. Get away with this at the gym. Just be a little bit careful with the sprays on this because it does have a certain kind of very citrus forward, kind of spicy with that woods coming through. So if you overdo it, you might choke yourself and other people out. Really worth checking out. A very like masculine, confident, fresh, invigorating style of fragrance with that kind of bold mysteriousness to it. Definitely worth checking out. That's Perry Ellis Night. All right, up next we got ourselves a celebrity fragrance, and it's the cheapest one on this list. It's 50 Cent Power. Now you can get this bad boy for $7.50 for a 50 ml. So cheapest fragrance you're gonna come across, and let me tell you, this is pretty dang good for $7.50. This is nice when you're like trying to find another fragrance just to kind of hit your free shipping threshold on like different discounters. That's what I did when I got this one, and I am pleasantly surprised. And the atomizer on this that's worth $5 alone right there. Really nice kind of like pepper artemisia style of opening. So it's got this kind of spiciness to it, that's black pepper spice mixed with this nice kind of bitter earthy green, like a green, fresh, rooty sort of vibe. Really nice mix of those green notes with that pepper. As this kind of develops a little bit more, you get this petitgrain that comes forward. So it adds a little bit more kind of a sweet grassy, sweet herbaceous sort of feel to it. Still get a little bit of that spice, but you get some coriander, some nutmeg that work in there. Adds a little bit of kind of sweet, fresh spiciness to it. And it just creates this really nice, spicy, fresh, clean, green, herbaceous style of fragrance that is just screams of the spring. As this develops a little bit more, you get some wood notes that kind of come through, add kind of like a nice base to it. And in the dry down, you get a really nice kind of oak mossy, musky style of fragrance. Very fresh, very clean, has a right little touch of that fresh, spicy sweetness that's worked in there. But all in all, it's just like a really nice, rounded, green, spicy style of fragrance that's just got this kind of like gentlemanly, almost kind of barbershop-y sort of vibe going on to it. That's just gonna be a great casual spring fragrance, day or night. Performance on this, even though it's called Power, it's not that powerful. It was just kind of a clever name for Fitty. About 4 hours of longevity off my skin, and the projection for the first hour and change is about an arm's length before it does settle back in. So you're gonna need to apply this bad boy throughout the day if you're gonna wanna keep smelling. But the scent accord on this, like I said, for $7.50, this is an incredibly good scent profile on this. If you like that kind of spiciness, that kind of green herbaceousness, little touch of bitter, little touch of sweetness worked into it, this is definitely worth checking out. Got that kind of casual feel, but you also got kind of bold, masculine vibe going on at the same time. Awesome fragrance, especially for the price point. Check it out, 50 cent power. All right, up next we got one from the house of Jaguar, and it's Jaguar Classic Gold. Now you can scoop this bad boy up for about $16 to $19 at various discounters, or you can go even cheaper and get a tester like I did that doesn't come with a cap and it drives you crazy for the rest of this bottle's existence. I really wish I didn't get the tester. I hate not having a cap. Some of the notes listed in this are apple, lime, bergamot, vanilla, patchouli, musk, some teak wood that's mixed in there, and a really nice orange blossom. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In that opening, there's a nice atomizer on this too. Beautiful, sweet, fruity style of apple mixing with this kind of nice, tart, juicy style of lime. Right, like just a right level of kind of citrus working in with that apple, and you get this beautiful, beautiful, soft, sweet floral style of orange blossom that it makes this a very kind of creamy style of opening mixed with that fruit sweetness and that citrus accord. Absolutely gorgeous. My mouth is watering. I love this one so much. Perfect level of kind of soft sweetness to it, that little punch of citrus that comes through, and you also get this really nice vanilla that works in from the base pretty quick. In the dry down, that's pretty much what you're left with. This is a fairly linear scent from the opening to the dry down. It's that orange blossom, it's this like soft floral creamy vanilla with that added fruit sweetness, a little punch of citrus, a little bit of woods mixed in there, giving this a bit of a masculine base to it. And all in all, it's just kind of a sexy, soft, alluring style of spring fragrance. And I just love this one in the spring. Just perfect level of sweetness. It has that right kind of floral element to it, but not in a feminine sort of way. It just gives it a softness, a creaminess, a gentleness that I just absolutely adore. Performance on this is about 6 hours off my skin, and the first hour and a half projection is pretty good, beyond an arm's length before it does settle back in. For $16 to $19 or like $12 for a tester, this is absolutely bang for your buck. One of the best fragrances with that sort of scent profile. Awesome, awesome fragrance. Definitely worth checking out. That's Jaguar Classic Gold. All right, up next, we're moving to the house of Ed Hardy, and it's Ed Hardy Villain. You can scoop this bad boy up for $21 at discounters, and look at this bottle. What a piece of artwork from Ed Hardy right there. This is a very interesting fragrance. It's kind of unique in the sense that it's like a twist of like Versace blue jeans, as well as like a little hint of Dolce & Gabbana's The One, but it's still like a mass appeal sort of fragrance, a bit of a dumb reach style of fragrance that has aspects of both of those fragrances kind of mixed in there. Opens up a very bright, fresh, clean laundry sort of vibes going on to it. It's got bergamot, it's got some fresh spicy pepper mixed in there. A little bit of basil, some lavender. The opening is a little bit harsh, to be honest, but after a minute or so, once this settles down, you get this really nice kind of fresh, clean, spicy style of laundry. A little bit of sweetness that's mixed in there, but overall just kind of a nice out of the shower, clean sort of vibe going on to it. As this develops and kind of works to the dry down, you get some cedar wood that mixes in there, along with some nice creamy sandalwood, a little bit of nutmeg that's in there, and it just turns into this like nice kind of creamy woods, soft spicy woods, a little bit of musk that's worked in there. That's where I kind of get that Dolce & Gabbana sort of vibe going on there. Not as warm, spicy, so it doesn't have that warmth that the one has, but that kind of spice medley that goes on there does kind of remind me of that. So get that nice kind of fresh, clean laundry sitting on top of those nice kind of spicy, warm woods. And it's just an overall really nice, casual, mass appealing, crowd pleasing style of fragrance. And I really, really enjoy this one. Performance on this, I get about 5 hours, maybe 6 if I get a lot on my clothing. And projection for the first hour and change, maybe hour and a half, does push on beyond an arm's length before it does settle back in. Really great fragrance for $21. Don't let the bottle and the brand of Ed Hardy, even though it's a little bit cringy, don't let that fool you. This is an awesome scent profile on this, and it's definitely worth checking out. That's Ed Hardy's Villain. All right, up next, we're moving to the house of English Laundry, and it's English Laundry's Arrogant. Now you can pick this bad boy up for $20 at discounters, and you can find these at rack stores pretty regularly for in and about that same price range. And this is a great barbershop, masculine style of fragrance that's just absolutely perfect for the spring. It's got lavender, it's got bergamot, sandalwood, cedar, some coriander, and a little bit of amber that's worked in there. In that opening, oh, just, it has that perfect barbershop sort of vibe. Very soapy, very clean, very fresh. Has that lavender, has that kind of pop of fresh tarts, sort of bergamot working in there. Little hint of coriander, giving it kind of that fresh, spicy little pop to it. But what you really get is that kind of soapy, clean lavender, that aromatic nature to it. And you get some nice masculine woods that work through with that kind of cedar wood and that sandalwood as well. Beautiful, soapy, clean barbershop style of fragrance that's, you just can't go wrong with. It's not too old school that you're gonna think like this is your grandpa style of fragrance. This does have enough of a modern twist to it that, you know, a gentleman in his 30s, 40s and beyond can definitely pull this off. Even some of the younger guys out there, if you want to smell like you just got out from a fresh, clean shave, this is going to do it for you. Performance on this, about 5 hours. Maybe I can push it to about 6 if I get a decent amount on my clothing. And projection is moderate for the first hour, hour and a bit before it does settle back in. For $20, this is an absolute gem of a fragrance within the English Laundry line. One of my favorites. Definitely worth checking out. Casual, clean, soapy, masculine style of fragrance. That's English Laundry's Arrogant. All right, up next, we're moving to the house of Mont Blanc, and it's Mont Blanc Presence. Now you can scoop this sucker up for $25 at discounters, and this one doesn't get enough play, and it should. It's the Mont Blanc Legend Spirits and the Legends and the Individual, the Explorer, all those ones get all the love. This one gets slept on, and it shouldn't, because this is a really, really nice, almost barbershop, borderline fougere, warm, spicy, gentlemanly, masculine style of fragrance. Really nice, warm, spicy opening to this. It's very, very cinnamon forward, but you got some cardamom that's worked in there, some bergamot to give it a little kiss of some citrus, and this nice kind of sparkly ginger that adds a little bit of sweetness to it, kind of elevates that kind of spiciness to it. Really, really nice opening to this, but like I said, very cinnamon forward. So if you're not a fan of cinnamon, you're not gonna like this one. In the mid, there's some apple and some heliotrope, so it adds a little bit of kind of fruit sweetness to it, a little bit of floral softness to it, kind of like balances off against that warm spiciness. And in the dry down, you get some nice woods, you get some like tonka that works in there, a little bit of powdery texture coming in from some amber, but a really nice kind of vanillic woods sort of vibe going on to it with those warm spicy notes sitting on top of it and sort of those soft fruity sweetness edges just kind of dancing around the edges just to kind of balance everything out. Really, really nice masculine kind of suit and tie man sort of vibe going on to this. Like I said, has that kind of barbershop sort of vibe, but in kind of a warm, spicy sort of way. But it is definitely something you can wear in the spring. It just has that kind of fresh shave, just fresh, clean, wearing a tuxedo, wearing a suit, heading to the office sort of vibe going on to this. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Performance on this, I go about 5-6 hours of longevity, and the projection on this is moderate for the first hour and a half before it does settle back in. Great casual fragrance, great for the office. You can wear this on date nights. You got that masculine, gentlemanly sort of vibe going on to it. And you can dress this up formally, suit and tie, CEO, going to the opera in a tuxedo sort of vibe going on to this. Very versatile, great for the spring and the fall. Definitely worth checking out. That's Mont Blanc's Presence. All right, last, certainly not least, going to the house of LALIQUE with LALIQUE's ENCRE Noir Sport. You can pick this bad boy up for $28 at discounters. And this is a great introduction to the ENCRE Noir line. ENCRE Noir and ENCRE Noir à l'Extrême can be very challenging fragrances because they're so dark, earthy, rooty, sort of very unique sort of fragrances. This has that DNA, it has that signature vetiver, it has that cypress that's in there, but it's got some added notes into it that make this a lot brighter, cleaner, more kind of spring invigorating versus kind of dark, moody fall sort of vibes going on to it. Some added grapefruit in this, along with some bergamot, a little bit of nutmeg, some watery notes, and some lavender that's mixed in there. So this gets it a little bit more of a clean, aromatic vibe going on to it. A little pop of citrus in there to give this kind of a brightness to it versus kind of like the dark inkiness that's in the ENCRE Noir and the à l'Extrême. So this is a little bit more uplifting. This is more like sitting in the woods just after sunrise, sitting by like a nice spring creek with like kind of wet, but like crisp, invigorating, kind of mossy sort of vibes. Still got that kind of rootiness to it, but it's not as dark, it's not as challenging. It's just a really pleasant style of fragrance. Still a little bit challenging. It is a little bit unique. That vetiver cypress that's in the ENCRE Noir DNA can be off-putting to some people, but the watery notes kind of just water this down just a little bit, and those citruses, that lavender, just kind of brighten this up, give it more of an uplifting sort of spirit to it, and it's an awesome spring style of fragrance. Performance on this, I think about 6 hours of longevity, and production is moderate for the first hour, hour and a half before it does settle back in. Great introduction, like I said, to the ENCRE Noir line. Definitely worth checking out if you're curious about that line, kind of what it might smell like. This is gonna get you in the neighborhood, and for $28, I think this is perfect for the spring. That's LALIQUE's ENCRE Noir Sport. All right, so there you have it. That's 7 cheap spring fragrances from designer houses that I think you should know about. Nice range here for everybody. We got the barbershop style fragrances. We got the little bit more challenging ENCRE Noir ones, a little bit kind of sweet orange blossomy style ones, and some like easy done reach, fresh clean laundry style fragrances. So I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite designer house cheapies that we should all know about for this upcoming spring here? Comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Love getting your different recommendations. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.